Okay, now we've got BlockFi is filing for bankruptcy or has filed for
This guy's
bankruptcy.
fucking face, dude. I've seen this guy's face so much in the last 3 weeks. It's insane.
Yeah. So I'm not going to talk too much about it. I've been listening to I don't know if there was a 2 hour Spaces with Mario yesterday
Yeah.
where SBF came on. I listened to that whole thing. There's also those two interviews that came out from that Tiffany YouTuber who's not a reporter. I watched those. There was also there's a bit of Good Morning America that's being slowly released out where he had an interview there. There was an article in Bloomberg today, quite a detailed article with a reporter that was with SBF in his mansion after the fallout. I read that whole thing and it was really, really long. So I'm actually really clued up, but I don't think that this is the place to cover like too extensively FTX. We know what happened. The guy stole a lot of money and whatever. Allegedly stole a lot of money. Let me correct myself, allegedly, and whatever. That's not what the story is. The story is that BlockFi, another cryptocurrency exchange, is now officially filing for bankruptcy. So just to give you a bit of background, BlockFi was actually in deep trouble with the Luna collapse around the time of the Luna collapse about 6 months ago, or whatever that was. And they were bailed out by SBF, by FTX, by Sam Bankman-Fried, as well as a few other exchanges that were bailed out by them. And as part of that bailout, there was loans between BlockFi and FTX after the bailout happened. Yeah. And so BlockFi's owed $680 million of loans. So BlockFi said on Monday that SBF's investment firm Alameda Research defaulted on $680 million of collateral loans at the beginning of the month, right? And they were already in quite a tough space, BlockFi, and so this has been the sort of final nail in the coffin for them. They have officially filed for bankruptcy, but they are suing Sam Bankman-Fried, saying that it's a result of them defaulting on the loan, FTX defaulting on the loan, that has led them to have to file for bankruptcy.
Dude, it's a very fucked situation on all angles. And I watched a few of the interviews he did. I listened to a little bit of the Spaces. The Spaces was fucking miserable. The interviews I've watched, he looks like, I can't even believe their lawyers are like letting him talk right now. It's just, I've never seen so much just garbage come out of someone's mouth. It's like nonsense. He literally doesn't say anything like, did you do this? And he's like, what you need to understand is I wasn't over here and I wasn't quite sure on this. And you're like, no, did you do it? Well, like, I have to check all the details. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, bro, oh my God. Either this was literally the worst run operation of all time and you literally don't know anything, or you're just 100% guilty and just can't admit it on camera. It's just gotta be one of the two.
I think this pleading ignorance and not knowing anything is really silly. He's definitely a very, very bright guy, and he's definitely a very clued up guy, and I think he's a very calculated guy, and I think him coming out and doing all these spaces and things like this is a calculated move on his behalf. But I don't buy the story of I had no idea what was going on in Alameda. I had no idea this, that, the other. I don't buy it. Yeah. There have been some interesting admissions that have come out. That Mario space. Did you listen to that 2 hour Mario space?
Not the whole thing. I tried my best, but it was terrible.
That was really interesting because you know me, I do like listening a lot to Run Nunye. I really do like him. I really respect him, and he was one of the speakers there. And you know, when SBF was being sort of pushed on how could you have used clients' funds to make investments through Alameda, SBF went on to say, look, you know, it's an exchange and people know that, you know, they're trading. And Run made it so clear. He said it a few times in different ways that, hold on, if I literally took $20,000, bought one Bitcoin through silver, whatever. So it wasn't even through the exchange, just for you to hold. So I was not leverage trading. I was using you as a bank. That's got to be separate from the guy who was leverage trading and whatever. Did you have one Bitcoin to back up my Bitcoin? And SBF said, look, I have to look into it, but I don't think so. Right now, the fact he said I have to look into it is just for him to cover himself. But the fact that he said no, like we didn't, even if you were depositing and not trading at all on the exchange. That is highly illegal and fraudulent, and he pretty much admitted that.
Did you see the thing about the back door? They were like, "Did you design your website to give you a back door?" And he goes, "Well, I can't code a website. Couldn't be me."
Code. Yeah.
And I was like,
So
"Are
it's
you
also
fucking
stupid,
kidding
dude.
me?"
You've got $10 billion. You can hire someone who can code.
Unbelievable.
Even if that is true, you can hire someone who can code. You know?
Dude, unbelievable. I was like, how fucking thick do you think people are? This is the internet. You're gonna get ripped
Well,
apart for something like
the
this.
funny thing, Kate, is that a lot of people are falling for it, and we've seen even like when he did that interview, it was on TV, but it wasn't Good Morning America, and the crowd was clapping afterwards, and giggling at him, saying that his attorneys very much don't suggest that he does this. So he is. People who don't understand crypto, and he starts getting technical with leverage trading and positions and all of that. They start to think, oh, this poor guy, So
Trying to throw him
yes,
off.
the hardcore crypto guys and the guys who actually understand a lot more than you and I do about leverage trading and whatever, those guys he's not going to convince. But
Right.
I don't think he's trying to. I think he's trying to get really, really good public support.
What do you think? Are we going to talk about BitBoy's whole extravaganzas?
Well, we can. Now's a good time if you want to, because it sort of leads into it.
Dude,
so, what
have you seen the videos coming out
with him in
Art Basel?
No, I thought you meant with him in where's SBF from?
Oh, I mean, yeah, he was there. He was in the Bahamas, like doing some vlog
That's
stuff.
That's the last videos I've seen of.
Okay, well, he's at Art Basel. He was speaking on stage, and some lady comes out and was like, "How are you gonna say all this stuff when you're a scammer?" And he just loses his shit on stage. He starts yelling at her, calling her a child molester, a murderer, and it was unbelievable. He's like on stage. She's like, "Look, I have proof. Like, you can look at this thing, and like this." And she starts pulling up real proof against him. And he literally goes, "Well, you're a child molester, like you're a murderer," like on stage with a microphone. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And like the video started going viral. It's going crazy right now. Just type in BitBoy.
Hold on, I've got it. Hold on. Let me remove.
Guys, I want to see. Let me know what you guys think about this video. I'm sure.
Just do something. Oh, Cade's gone.
Oh no.
Oh, he's back. Oh, you're back. But your color's very different. Something. Oh,
Yeah.
you're gone. Oh, you're back. I want to share with sound. That's why I actually took off the shares and now I'm sharing again. All right. And I'm going to say this looks like the right thing. Let's see what Kate's talking about.
We need to go and investigate a few different sources of truth before we go out and say, okay, this is something that I stand by. Because as we have seen in the space, if the project goes down, who is the first one that gets impacted? The person who stood for the project, right?
Well, first of all, I got to say, I wasn't aware.
So it looks like this is BitBoy Crypto here. He's not talking
yet. I want to
yet.
clarify the audience.
Here, this is not the clip, so that's a 15-minute clip. Just go on Twitter and type in BitBoy.
But for this, I'm being neutral, so
You'll find like a 30-second video.
Creator or a business owner or
It's not this one though. It's not the stage either.
You want the best for
No, okay.
No, just go to Twitter and type in BitBoy Art Basel or BitBoy. Yeah, just type in BitBoy Art Basel. That'll work.
That's what I did there, but I'll try it on Twitter. BitBoy Art.
Yeah, because that's where it's trending on Twitter.
Hey, Cage. Let's retweet your tweet. BitBoy Art Basel. Hold on.
I'll see if I can find it too.
No results, bro.
Nah, hold on. It's here.
That's weird.
One sec.
Home. How do you spell Basil? Bassel. Is that right?
Basel.
All right, here we go.
That's the one.
But this one's got no sound at all. Hold on.
Oh, really?
Let's see if we can do one with sound. Maybe they wash trading it. Hold on.
No, hold on. BitBoy angry. Just type that in.
I've got it, yeah, but I got no. It shows with sound, but I've got no sound.
Here, I'm
On
gonna.
my side.
How?
Do you have it on your phone?
Well, I just seen it. It's been like fucking trending the last 2 days, like, or the last day. Like, where the hell's the video? He's been responding to all these.
Hold on, my tab is muted. Just wait. There we go. There we go. Okay.
It doesn't matter whether it's a year ago, right?
No, hold on. When you do
Please
this,
go and check all the evidence.
wait. Oh, okay, so you're a child molester. You're a child molester.
Okay, can you let me complete that?
No, I don't have the backup. It's just everything I said.
You know
This
what?
woman is a child molester. She's a murderer. She's a murderer.
Look at you, you're shaking. It doesn't matter whether it's a year ago, right?
No, hold on.
Look.
When you do this,
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
It's so immature, bro. Seriously, honestly, I'm sorry. I mean, like, BitBoy is the same age as me. We're both 40. I'm turning 40 in a month or two. And to turn it on someone and to try to deflect it, I mean, this is just not the way to handle it. Honestly, and this is the first time I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
And then to actually like, it seems like she's got proof. She says she's got proof,
did.
whatever.
She did. It was
But
bad.
he's
Dude.
accusing. He's trying to call someone in public a murderer.
Yeah.
Even though he's trying to make a point, I understand what he's doing. That's
No,
highly illegal.
Trying to get clicks, dude. No, he's pulling Colby Covington right now.
No.
You're saying
But I think he's saying what's stopping me from just saying that you were a murderer, that you were a child molester, like you coming here and saying that I'm a thief or whatever.
No. What I'm saying is he's aware he's on camera. And he's already made 3 separate attempts at going viral. He did the one video calling out all the big centralized exchange founders, screaming at the camera, which is super powerful. That's risky. Super risky for the brand. It worked out. Second video, he travels to Bahamas, makes this whole big deal about Sam Bankman-Fried, a war with him. That starts to go viral. And then the third one, he's out here on stage. Like, you have to know that he knows what he's doing, just screaming nonsense because he knows it's going to go viral, dude. He's pulling on Colby Covington. He's going to get a lot of attention.
I think he was
He's going to
caught
lose a lot of respect.
But he's going to get the wrong attention. Kate.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing. You
yeah.
lose the respect, but you get attention. So it depends what you're going for. And
but I mean, he's going after Mr. Wonderful as well. I mean, he's going after everyone. And Kevin O'Leary. And the problem here is that he's like, look, I mean, I'm small fry. My main thing is not necessarily YouTube that I've been doing for a year. I've got other things I'm proud that I've achieved in the amount of time that he's achieved. Like in 20 years, I've achieved things in other aspects. So I'm not trying to pretend like I'm big on YouTube and he's not. I'm not. All I'm saying is that what I have seen a trend and a big trend is when people get full of themselves to the point that he seems to be now with all these things happening, they end up falling from grace. And we saw it with Dokwon. We saw it with Dokwon, with Terra Luna. Getting too big for his boots. No one can tell him anything. He was, even on the day Terra Luna went down, he was so cocky on his Twitter, right? Yeah. We've seen it with Sam. Sam admitted in the Mario Spaces that, or I don't know if it was that or another thing I watched where he admitted that it got to his head, that he was too big for his boots, that, and now we're seeing it with BitBoy Crypto as well. We're seeing him thinking that he's untouchable. And that's usually what happens before someone takes a big fall from grace. Not that I'm wishing that on him. I mean, I'm not competing with him. We're not a crypto channel. I don't want anyone to think that I've got any ulterior motives. There is a pattern, and he does seem to think that he's untouchable. I mean, who the fuck goes to the Bahamas, right, and walks around with a couple of guys as if they own the place, screaming at the guy's window? I mean, I understand what Sam's done, right, but you're not going to achieve anything that way, and we've seen that. Sam's come out and given interviews to a lot of people, not yet to BitBoy, right? So he's achieved nothing except for trying to get attention. But I mean, if you do that in the wrong place, you get a bullet in your head.
Well, that's what you can see. Like, he's going for attention right now. He's trying to get attention. It's working. He's getting a lot of people talking about him. He's gonna absolutely elevate his brand and level of influence in the space probably by 3x, and he's now cemented as he was already basically relevant in general of all things crypto, but now he's extremely relevant.
Why? But he didn't have to do this. He's got 1.5 million.
No. This will make a huge impact on him, and it'll likely be positive. Even though he's going to lose respect from certain people, this will blow up his channel, dude. Like, he will go so much further.
Thing?
What about it? No, not because of these
Oh,
things,
yeah.
because of these attention grabbers where he's going viral. Just more people recognize him and see him now, and it works because like it's the same within the UFC when Colby Covington went from boring fighter to calling out everybody, screaming, talking shit, then beating everyone at the same time. People were like, "Oh shit, we gotta pay attention to Colby Covington," and then he doesn't have to do that as much in the future because people already associate him with being exciting and entertaining.
But I'm
And
saying
he's also
Bitboy
good.
doesn't need to do that. It's not like he's a new guy on the scene
No, yeah,
that has to do that. He's
True.
got 1.5 million subscribers already.
So something's
That's what I'm
lacking,
saying.
dude. Something's lacking. He needs to fix it, and this is what he's doing, I guess.
So the thing is he came out, Bitboy came out about 6 weeks ago and said that Sam Bankman-Fried was rugging us and all of this stuff. And he had that whole rant,
Yep.
and everyone thought he had lost the fucking plot. And it turns out he was 100% correct.
Mhm.
And he's since revealed his sources as one of these clients from Alameda that launched a project through Alameda. And basically Alameda Research was supposed to hold up the value of their token while they were launching their token. And instead of doing that, Alameda Research allegedly just sold the token at under floor and then offered them $600,000 to shut up once they were caught, and all of this sort of stuff, right? So this guy who owned the company that partnered with Alameda that this happened to is the source for BitBoy, because a few weeks, like last week, this guy came onto BitBoy's channel. This guy agreed, and BitBoy said, "This is why I knew that Alameda and FTX were up to shady stuff." And this guy who partnered with Alameda and whatever, his company, a big company, not well known, but been operating for 10 years and building amazing tech, they recorded all the Zoom meetings between the Alameda research people. And everything is recorded. And he since posted a video of those recordings. And he showed how when they were approached by Alameda in the beginning, they met with Caroline. She was the front, right? And then after that, when it got a bit hectic, then they went, I think he said the name was Chris, I don't know, something with a C. And he was saying who does what at Alameda. But these guys were doing dodgy shit. Alameda was doing dodgy shit. Can you imagine I partner with you, CADE, because you know how to launch an NFT collection and a token. And your job is to keep the token value stable during launch. And you start undercutting the floor. You're not allowed to sell. You start, they literally were, Alameda was allegedly printing this company's tokens out of thin air and undercutting the floor.
Bro.
They did the exact opposite of what they were supposed to do. And because this company is a proper tech company, they have software that picked it up. And they were like, what the fuck is going on there? This is Alameda. Yeah. And they went to them and they said, stop this. And we're going to go public. And they said, oh, no, we'll pay you. We'll pay you. Just shut up.
That's fucked, bro. That is beyond messed up. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We went on a bit of a tangent.
We did. We ended up talking about FTX a ton.
Yeah,
right after we're like, we're just gonna quickly skim over it.
Yeah, but it's big. It's big in the space. I mean, but once you start, you can't stop. Let's stop.
True.
Okay, so let's move on to our next.